Isn't it crazy that Spider-Man games used to look like this? Yeah, this is Spider-Man on the Atari. And now they look like this. They come in plastic cases and they're on discs. And we got a sequel to this one with Miles Morales, and we're about to get a full-blown Spider-Man 2 with Peter and Miles. And I am hyped. It was just announced that it's releasing October 20th, 2 days before my birthday, so that's pretty exciting, if I do say so myself. And they went over a few things, and I just want to talk. I want to talk about a few things I'm a little apprehensive on with the game, and a few things that I would love to see and I'm excited about for this game. So let's just jump into it. I haven't really done a video like this before, I guess, so we'll see how this goes. I have 3 things that I'm a little apprehensive on this game with, and all 3 of them are incredibly minor, pretty much nitpicks. First of all, I still am not a fan of Insomniac's Spider-Man suit. I'm sorry. It's not the white logo or anything like that. It's the pants. It's everything from the waist down is kind of bleh. And overall, it just kind of makes the suit more mid, like a 6 out of 10 Spider-Man suit, when it could easily be like a 7 or an 8 out of 10 suit. I really think the biggest issue is that this pants section on Spider-Man here is entirely blue when it should have these red boots. It just breaks up the monotony of the color a little bit and provides a little like relief and it just a little bit of visual interest. It makes it pretty cool to me, and honestly, I just feel like it's missing something without those. My second very minor nitpick is the lizard. I'm just not a huge fan of the lizard's design. My favorite designs for the lizard are always the ones that are a little more humanoid, like its classic 60s appearance. Or my favorite design of the lizard, which is in Spectacular Spider-Man. Beautiful show, by the way. But no, like, I think a more humanoid lizard has always looked a little better to me. One that keeps the lab coat on and everything like that. And like, it can still act a lizard like, but as long as it's like clear that thing was a human at one point. I'm not sold on the lizard's look in this game. I don't really like the big monstery like kind of look to it, and I'm not the only one with this opinion, and it's really minor because I know the lizard's probably going to have a boss fight or something, and he's going to be an important character, but he's probably going to be a more important character as Curtis Connors, the human. So we'll probably see a bit more of that than, the lizard's design. And yeah, the lizard design is kind of bleh, but it's a very minor nitpick. I will be very clear with that. And finally, I want to talk about Venom. I am fine with a non-Eddie Brock Venom. I mean, I know Matt Gargan has been Venom before, and I have a feeling in this game it's going to be Harry Osborn is going to be Venom. But I kind of like the idea of the first Venom being Eddie Brock. I don't know. I think I'm probably this is probably just a me thing. I don't know. I'm just a big sucker for it. It happened in Spectacular Spider-Man. It happened in the 90s cartoon. I'm a big this was the media I grew up on, so I think it'd be cool. And I'm not saying that having a variation or a new story to tell is a bad thing. I actually am really excited for this new direction that Insomniac is taking their take on Spider-Man. I don't know. I kind of wish Eddie Brock was at least somewhere in the game. And I know that it doesn't really make sense for him to be. It's fine. It's like I said, all 3 of these things were minor nitpicks. So it's fine, really. And plus, I think for the story that I have a feeling they're going to tell, Venom being Harry Osborn would be so much cooler and so much better. Let's talk about some of the things I'm excited for, and one of those things is the story I have a very big feeling that they're going to tell. I have a feeling that, it's going to start out like the game is pretty normal. We'll see Craven coming into the big city and starting his hunt. Peter and Miles are going to go try and stop him. Peter's going to be like, I'll go alone. And, I have a feeling that we're going to have a bit of a recreation of Craven's last hunt where Peter will die and he'll be buried in the ground. That's how we'll get the symbiote suit, and he'll recreate that classic shot in Kraven's Last Hunt where Peter crawls out of the grave in the black suit, and it looked really cool. I have a feeling we get a recreation of that. Then Kraven's gonna get taken down, and then Venom will come into the story and be the second major villain, kind of like Mr. Negative into Doctor Octopus sort of thing. But I would really love to see a third villain in this game, just to push the idea that this is a next-gen experience. This is a true, definitive sequel. I'm not saying that every single sequel needs to be bigger and have more villains and more action just to be notable as a sequel. I'm just saying for the first Spider-Man game, like made exclusively for the PS5, one that's already way bigger, it's doubled the size of the map, which I'm also super excited for. I think it'd be really, really cool if we had a third villain. I think it'd be so cool if that villain was Green Goblin, Norman Osborn, like trying in his own time to find his own cure for his son, and then that ending up making him Green Goblin. It doesn't need to be super complicated. You can get the picture, you know? And I'm a sucker for recreating comic book like famous shots, so we could have a cool shot of like both the Spider-Man dangling off the glider, wrapped up in webs with their masks torn off by the Green Goblin, just some cool things like that, and I know that was technically Harry Osborn Green Goblin, but it's cool looking. I know it's probably not going to happen, and I honestly don't expect it to happen, but I think it'd be really, really cool if it did happen, Just one of those things that it'd be fun if it did, it's fine if it doesn't. Another thing that excites me about this game that is going to sound really mean is that we have heard no news on any civilian stealth section being in this game. Thank the Lord. Those sections where you had to play as Mary Jane or Miles in the first Spider-Man game, blue chunks. I'm very sorry. I know someone designed those levels and put a lot of thought into them, and they aren't horrible. They aren't as bad nearly as everyone makes them out to be. But they sucked ass, and I really hated playing through them. Everyone did. There isn't a single person I can find online that truly defends them as amazing integral parts of the game. You can ride around them, and it seems like in this game they haven't mentioned them yet, and I know that there's probably going to be some sort of civilian stealth section with Mary Jane, but I'm hoping that they retweak it a little bit, make it a little more fun. I'm also really excited just because this game, it seems so big, and Insomniac genuinely seems to really care about it. Every time I hear them talk about it or see someone present about it, they just seem to actually really be engaged and excited and want this game to be as good as it can be. And honestly, that makes me excited for this game. Seeing them so hyped up about their own game, yeah, we made a banger story here. We knocked this shit out of the park. Y'all are gonna go crazy. That gets me a bit hyped too, Something I want to touch on really quick. I would love more collectibles. The backpacks in the first game were sublime. I want more of those because they were so fun to go through and collect and find little tidbits of lore. And I know that they threw a lot of backpacks into the first game, and they can't be backpacks again because that wouldn't make any sense at all. So there'll probably be some different collectible, but I really hope there's another collectible sort of like those that let you go through the city and just you can find, they flesh out the world a little bit more. I think it'd be really cool to get to see that. I'm also really excited for something that I have a feeling is going to happen. I have a feeling that there's going to be a big boss fight between Peter and Miles, and I think it's going to be really monumental because I have a way I really want it to play out. And when I say that, I know it's majorly probably not going to happen the way I think or want, but I think it'd be so cool. Imagine for me, right? We start the fight between Peter and Miles playing as Peter. He's in the black suit. He's angry. He's mad. And Miles is trying to stop him from doing something rash. And we have to play as Peter beating up the person who is guaranteed in the right. and we knock him down flat. In the first game, it was all about Peter. Miles didn't get his powers until the very, 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 very end. In Miles Morales, when Miles was knocked down after absorbing a goddamn nuclear bomb, understandable, he had to be carried up by the Tinker into the sky to blow up. And yeah, he got up after that and swung off, but I think it'd be really cool if we got a moment in this game where we had to play as black suit, symbiote suit Peter, beating up Miles, knocking him down, and then we have to switch to Miles and get back up. That would have me screaming in my goddamn seat. I would be like, the whole time, because that is so goddamn Spider-Man, to no matter what, always get back up. And then from then on, we can control Miles throughout the fight and beat Peter up and, find some cool boss mechanic way to get rid of the symbiote suit, which might I also say, I'm actually really excited. The combat that they showed in the gameplay demo looks really cool and in-depth and interesting. I'm really excited to see how the symbiote suit controls compared to the regular suit. And I'm also really excited to see how you can switch between, symbiote suit, regular suit. I would really like to see how they control differently and how you can switch between them, because I have a feeling we're going to be able to switch between them, maybe, kind of. I have a feeling that Peter is going to get symbiote suits and Miles probably isn't. I have a feeling Miles won't get the symbiote in this game at all, and I think I'm fine with that. I honestly would prefer for it just to be Peter, so Peter can learn his thing about, this symbiote is bad, and then Miles will obviously know that and not need to learn that lesson. One thing I'm really, really excited about, especially from all the gameplay demos, is the swinging and the traversal of the city. That is my favorite part of either of the Spider-Man games out so far, is how you can traverse the city through web swinging and running on walls and jumping. And the first game I thought was immaculate, the perfect swinging. And then they perfected it somehow in Miles Morales. And now I think they're gonna go a step beyond. The web wings is a genius idea that I didn't even think of. I was talking to my friend, neither of us were like, oh yeah, just include the web wings. Immediately more travel options. We didn't think of that. But they're here, and oh my god, they are so cool, actually. I'm gonna scream. I love the idea of the web wings being there just for us to use at our convenience and fly around the city, zip around much more, swing, and then glide. It's gonna be so goddamn cool. Overall, I'm just extremely excited for this game. I love Spider-Man, if you couldn't tell. I just made a Spider-Man review. Now I'm making a video about how I'm excited for the second game because it looks incredible. And can I just say, frankly, congrats to Insomniac. You made, I believe, the best Spider-Man game ever, with one of the most perfect Spider-Man stories. The ending where he has to decide between saving Aunt May, someone personal to him, or letting her pass on and using the small sample of the cure to generate a larger quantity for the whole city. That is one of the most gut-wrenching scenes and one of the most perfectly Spider-Man scenes. I love the first game, and I adore the second game so much. I love Miles as a character. I actually think Miles as a character works sublimely for modern teenage audiences. I said this in my last video, I'm pretty sure. I just love Miles as a character, and Peter I will always have a place in my heart for. I love him so much. And we're about to get a full-on new game from the developers that made such an instant classic. And I could not be more excited. Spider-Man is my favorite superhero, and I am so glad he's getting some good ass media representation this year. We just had Across the Spider-Verse, which was amazing. Literally the worst part about the movie is that it ended, and we're about to get what seems to be an absolute banger of a game. I'm excited to see Insomniac Spider-Man 2. It seems incredible. I love Insomniac and their take on Spider-Man. It is such a good representation of the character. Spider-Man fans are eating in terms of adaptations this year. We do not talk about the comics. We do not talk about Paul. We do not talk about how they killed Miss Marvel for no goddamn reason. No goddamn reason. I hate Paul. I hate the death of Miss Marvel. So what I'm trying to say pretty much is that adaptations of Spider-Man this year are going to go hard, and Spider-Man comics kind of blow chunks right now. Actually, I think the Miles Morales run right now is pretty good, so go figure. That's about all. I just want to say some things I'm excited about and, worried about with this game. And when I say worried about, I mean like, yeah, I don't like how the costume looks. That's nothing. I just really wanted to talk about Spider-Man and Spider-Man PS5, I guess. Spider-Man 2 PS5. I'm just excited about this game, and I'm excited about Spider-Man. So, yeah, that's about it. Adios.